Hi everyone, many Vietnamese students want to study in the US, but most of them have trouble when choosing a best school. So today, we would like to invite you to meet the representative of the HULT School to more about this school. Hello sir, could you say with us some information about your school?
Certainly. So my name is Niklas Norman. I'm an Associate Director for HULT's Bachelor of Business Administration degree. HULT is an American business school. It is a well-ranked and top accredited business school, and we have multiple campuses in key business cities all around the world. So I work for the undergraduate program, and undergraduate students choose each year whether they would like to study in London or San Francisco. We also have a campus in Boston, we have a campus in San Francisco, and we have a campus in Ashridge, which is around 45 minutes drive outside of London. We also have a campus in Dubai as well as Shanghai. And again, if our students want to, they can rotate and visit these different campuses as part of their degree to not only learn about business, but also different business practices and cultures.
Would you tell me more about the strong major of your school?
Sure. The undergraduate students choose between 5 different majors in their third year. They choose between marketing, management, entrepreneurship, finance and accounting.
So how about the entry requirement for the undergraduate student?
Sure. So every school today will say that they have a holistic approach to an application. And I think that's certainly true for HULT as well. There are lots of different things to consider when someone applies. We look at grades, we look carefully at how good of a student someone that applies is, but we also look at the person applying. Looking at transcripts will give us a great insight into how good of a student someone is. But there is a second part of an application, and that is who is this person? We have a highly practical way of teaching business, and we're really interested in finding students who would thrive in that kind of learning environment. Our students work very much in teams, various teams throughout their degrees at HULT. Students consult for companies. Students work on an 8-month consulting project in their 4th year as undergraduate students. And we're looking for people who learn well in this kind of setting. So we also interview everyone that applies. We are looking for a personal statement that can be either written or a video personal statement, and we're also asking for a letter of recommendation. And all of these documents and the interview together will decide if someone is a good fit for HULT and if someone is accepted to one of our degrees.
Okay, yes. So how about the requirement for undergraduate for a graduate student?
The only difference between an undergraduate and a postgraduate application in terms of what to submit is that for postgraduate students, Mastery in Marketing, Finance or International Business, as well as an MBA or a part-time executive MBA, is that for the postgraduate programs we're asking for 2 letters of recommendation as well as a CV. Otherwise, the admission requirements or the application documents we're asking for are the same.
You say that your school is strong in about business, marketing and accounting. So would you say with me about marketing, what the student will study?
Well, I think for the details of the different majors, it's much better that students go to our website and read up on the different subjects and what they would mean. Throughout a 4-year degree as an undergraduate, you study a lot of different subjects, especially at HULT, because we have an American curriculum. There are a lot of different subjects in your first half, and there are around 8 different subjects per major that you choose in year 3. And for a detailed description, it's best that you either ask me for a brochure. I'm more than happy to email a PDF or send a hard copy if anyone wants, or simply check out our website.
So about the housing accommodation, do your school offer any kinds of housing for students?
We do. We built a new undergraduate campus for our student in London around 2.5 years ago. and next to it is also completely new student accommodation. We also have student accommodation for our undergraduate students in San Francisco, but it's around half an hour commute from campus.
Yes. About the cost scholarship that your school have for international students?
We do. One of the unique things about HULT is that we pretty much only have international students.
Yes.
It's uniquely international because of the 7 different campus locations we have, but also because of the students themselves. The student body is uniquely international because there's no single nationality that dominates any of our campuses. On the undergraduate side, there is no nationality that represents more than 8% of the student body. And that's quite unique. And this also means that everyone has the same opportunities when it comes to scholarships and financial aid. Everyone can apply for financial aid and everyone can apply for a scholarship.
Yes. So how about the requirement for the scholarship?
So we have 3 different scholarship types, I'd say. One is grade-based. We have something called the Academic Excellence Scholarship. And simply put, if your grades are good enough, you will get that scholarship. It's not something you apply for. As we review an application and as we review transcripts, we will review everyone for this grade-based scholarship. We also have something called impact scholarships, and they are essay-based. So we have 4 different scholarship topics for people to choose from. You write an essay around that topic. In some cases you also have an interview with a panel in London or San Francisco for undergraduate students. And then you have a chance of one of those. We also have 3 full scholarships for people applying for our intakes next year. But to limit expectations, there are 3 and we receive very many applications.
So how about the intake in the next year?
Well, every year HULT grows. It's one of the great things about working for HULT. It's a growing company, it's a growing school, which is exciting. So I don't know how large the intake will be next year. We have around 700, I think, undergraduate students in London and around 350 undergraduate students in San Francisco. Next year that will be slightly more.
Would you say with me more about the facility, about the activity in your school?
Well, we have clubs and societies at all of our different campuses. Our students are very active. The postgraduate programs are just 1-year degrees and incredibly intense. So perhaps less so on the postgraduate sides, although they are very ambitious too. But undergraduate students have very many different clubs and societies and very many extracurricular things that they do. Most of our clubs and societies are student-led, and as long as there are a couple of students at any single campus interested in one thing, the school will support them in launching a new club and society if that doesn't already exist.
Yes. So would you tell me why international students should choose your school to study?
I think when I think of HULT, I think of 2 things in particular. One is that we are the world's most international business school. It's something we say, but I really believe it's true. We're the world's most international business school for 2 main reasons. Like I said before, the multiple campus locations. It's not unique to offer exchange opportunities, but I think it's unique to do it within the same organizations in so many different key business cities in the world. It wouldn't disrupt studies in any way if students choose to go from one campus to the other. And it's also uniquely international because of the student body itself. So that's one, we are incredibly international. It's absolutely fair to say that our students graduate with an international understanding and a global perspective. I think the second thing is the way in which we teach, which I think is especially important in a business education. To quote our global dean, to truly understand business today, you need the element of doing. It's true that our students come to classes too and they listen to what I think are fantastic professors, but they also spend a lot of time outside of the classroom. They work a lot in teams. We put them through various business simulations. They learn a lot by working in teams on case studies. And then they have this capstone project, which is for undergraduate students an 8-month consulting project for a company in the final year. and postgraduate students choose between two different challenges as their capstone project. One is the same type of consulting project on a real world actual problem that a business is facing. The second challenge that postgraduate students can choose is something called Startup Challenge, where they for 8 months build a business plan for a new enterprise.
Yes. For the student first time that study in the US, would you tell them some tips to study well in the US?
To study well in the US? That's a good question. I think to be a good student, I guess the same recipe applies for anywhere in the world. I think if you have the opportunity to visit different parts of the world, that's an amazing added benefit to an education. I'm really excited about American education because I'm partial. I work for an American school, but I think if you look at an American application, I think it's still true today that it is more value put towards the person behind the grades and to really evaluate who someone is that applies, and not just how good of a student they are. We really prefer statements, personal statements, either written or video, to really show us, to really show personality and to help us differentiate between everyone that applies. And I think it is also perhaps less of a difference today, but still, American education is is based a lot on learning, learning by doing, and not just theory, and not just coming to class and listen to amazing professors, but still theory. I know that HULT really focuses on both theory and practice. I think that's generally true for American education, and I'm excited about that. I think it's also worth mentioning the American curriculum, which has the structure of 2 parts, where the first half is general, and the second half is more towards the majors, specialization in one area. And that's true even for our students. Even though HULT is a business school, even though we only have one undergraduate program and it's a business program, a business degree, our students still start by having a very broad curriculum. They study some non-business subjects still. And we think this is a great way of doing undergraduate education. It makes our students more interesting people, regardless of what they choose to do later in life.
Yes. So after finishing your study, students study in your school, does your school help students to find a job?
Yeah, our statistics are pretty good from the career service team. Around a third of our students are looking to do a master. It's easiest to track career employment on the postgraduate side because everyone, or almost everyone, is looking for employment straight away. It's more and more common for undergraduate students to do a master degree. And like I said, around a third of our undergraduate students have that goal when they graduate. But out of the rest, there are only around 10% that don't find employment. I think we track 6 months after graduation. So around 90, it's between 90 and 91% find what they're looking for, either in postgraduate education or employment, whether that's self-employment. We after all have a major in entrepreneurship, or if that is employment for a company.
So thank you so much for your sharing.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay everyone, we just know many information about the HULT school, and if you need for more information about this school, please feel free to contact with us.